I was turned off by the fact that he only came over because he wanted to have sex. But at the same time, I knew in my head, I knew in my mind, and I knew in my heart, this is probably the last time I'm going to get laid for the next probably 2 years of my life. Because I knew we were done. I knew this was over. I knew that I was going to be breastfeeding for a year. And I knew that having a newborn baby to infant to toddler, maybe the next 2 to 3 years. But I have no intentions on getting into any relationships at all right now. But I knew that. So I was like, this might be my last opportunity to be in the same room with male testosterone. And it was really thoughtless action on my behalf because it was so weird. So we obviously ended up, in fact, having intercourse on April 3rd, and it was terrible. And it was terrible because I could literally feel how much that man hated me. You know, people say that, when you have intercourse with someone, you exchange energies and spirit and all that. It's true. It's true, but if you're wearing rose-colored glasses, you probably overlook it all the time. This last time, it was so terrible. And I was just like all in my head the entire time, and I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, there is a baby in my uterus, and you want me to go lay on train tracks to convenience your life, while simultaneously you're having sex with me. Now, I'm not lying when I say this. Intimacy was always very self-serving for Asmodeus. Intimacy was always about Asmodeus. So I knew that I was walking myself into like a dummy mission where I wasn't going to be satisfied, but I was still like, you always kind of hope. I think this is the reason why some women just really think that, intimacy is physical sexual intimacy, so don't get carried away. Why it's kind of pointless, because you're guaranteed to be satisfied, and we're guaranteed half the time to be completely disappointed. And I don't even think that if I hadn't been in the headspace that I was in, it would have made a difference, because that's actually just how it always had been. It was okay, it was tolerable, it was acceptable in the beginning of our relationship, but then as he unveiled who he was over the course of several months, it just got more and more self-serving and selfish. Could possibly be an over-exaggeration on my part, but he was really, really aggressive at this time. He was very physically aggressive. And all I'm thinking in my head is, my baby. Now, obviously, we know that intercourse is not dangerous for pregnant women. However, my mind was going to all types of places because all I knew was this man on top of me does not want me to have my baby, does not want me to keep my baby. So it was really hard to think outside of that and to think about anything else. It was such a waste. And that's my own fault for sitting here and even doing it. But I knew the only reason why he did it was because he was really trying to like close in on where I was and finding out what he could manipulate. And I also think that he did this because he probably wanted to not rekindle our relationship, but I think that he believed in his head that, intimacy, it does create these bonds, it does create these emotional attachments to people, to one another, to your partner, to the person that you love. So I knew that he was being fake nice and fake intimate, but he still did want to, get his rocks off. But I could feel it, I could sense it. He made no eye contact with me, and I made no eye contact with him. The entire time that he was at my house, I made no eye contact with him because I couldn't even look him in the face anymore. And I was just like, after the fact, why did I do that? That was such a waste. Word of the wise, sex does not solve any pre-existing issues. It's not a band-aid. You shouldn't use it as a band-aid. It's quite pointless. He finished twice. I didn't finish it all, but he finished twice, and he did not use the pull-out method. And that spoke volumes to me because this man was not trapped. This baby I'm carrying was not the product of a broken condom or a condom with holes in it or me lying about being on birth control. This baby was not a trap at all. But now I'm trying to understand his perspective and his rationale behind his activities that day. Again, you cannot, it's a rarity. It's a rarity. You can end up pregnant with twins from intercourse after one egg has already been conceived, but it is such a rarity. It's a rarity. But with everything that he had said to me and texted me and did, it just really didn't add up to me. Why in the name of God you would go be intimate with the same person that you're screaming from the rooftops has lied to you, and I'm being selfish, and how could I do this, and I don't respect myself or him. It just didn't make any sense when it came to what his actions actually were. So at the end of the day, ultimately, he was really thinking with his dick, and it just didn't make any sense to me in his defense against me at all. Why would you ever sleep with someone again that you believe in your mind somehow trapped you with a baby? Why? And this is exactly how people wind up with these tumultuous experiences, and they're trashing their ex, they're trashing the mother of their child, but then they wind up going on to have more children together, and they're not even together because so many people think with their dick. What kind of logic is that? You can't blame anybody. You really can't blame anybody. I was aware that those activities were just part of a ploy. He was there just trying to continue his investigation on where I was at psychologically, so it meant nothing, but I wish I had not done it because it was so pointless.